Hello. Did you start the exam? Okay, thank you. I see your face nodding no.
Hey, the professor's not in here right now. He should be coming back anytime soon. I'll let him know that you asked a question.
Okay, thank you.
It was good. It was good. Man, what's going on? You had a question for me?
Hello, Professor. How you doing?
Good, good. What's going on? You had a question?
All good. No, I was wondering it's about the final exam. That's it.
Oh, the final for you, you can you have to take it with a proctor. You can't take it with me.
I'm going to take it with you after this class, right?
No, you can't take it with me. You have to take it with a proctor.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're online. So you have to take it with a proctor. You have to call Andy
Mm-hmm.
at the front office and set something up with her.
Okay, Andy.
Hi, Professor. How are you?
Hey, see how
I'm
are you doing?
good, good. Just I want to check with you because always sometime I am online student and sometime I come to the class and do the exam at the same time. But usually we can do it in the same time with you, but we can open the camera and everything.
Yeah, as far as I know, all the online students have to have a proctor.
What
'Cause
are
you,
you proctor?
huh?
What
What's
are you
that?
what are you mean with the proctor?
A
Because
proctor is somebody that's going to oversee or watch you take the exam. That's physically there to watch you. So you have
okay,
to you have to call
okay.
Andy. Or are you in the LA campus or San Diego campus?
I am in San Diego.
Yeah,
Like
so
what time the exam should start today with you?
not sure. Wait a minute.
That's all the proctor information right there.
Okay. Let me see here. So is that on the site?
That was an email I got from Isabella.
Okay. So you should have gotten an email from Isabella.
And then
Yeah,
that's
the idea is we always take the exam with the professor who's giving us the course, or if we couldn't make it for the same class or the same time, we should call Andy to see a proctor, but we can take it with you because you will be proctoring us.
No, I can't proctor you because I can't see you. I'm not physically there with you. Because it's an online exam, it'll be proctored. There are no makeups for final exams. You're not proctored, your grade will not be counted. So give me a minute. Let me ask you Polly real quick. Okay, just stay right there. All right.
Take your time.
I think that's like the third time I've received that email.
Yeah, last time I did it.
That is too long, so like one or two.
Yeah, you should be.
Like an email like that, yeah.
For the essay question, how do we have to describe like
I know.
research paper with the reference and citation or just the essay?
Yeah, no. It's open book though, so,
No, but I just have that question.
yeah. You have the citation stuff. Okay.
I have saved in a website, the site machine.
Do we have the reference and citation stuff on our final?
No.
Essay.
Okay.
Okay, man, and Siham and Alfred. So you're good to go. You can take it with me. Okay.
Okay.
So we just cleared that up. So yeah, I'm gonna need the camera on and make sure everything is good. And then I'm afraid if you're gonna take it with me, you gotta have your camera on. It's not going right now. I'm gonna lecture first, and then after I lecture, then we'll go into the exam. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. What are you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, just about if we have to reference and citation.
For the essay
last
question.
No citation or references required. Just give me an answer and make it good. If you do put citation references, that's all good. Even better, but not a necessity. All right. Anybody got any questions about anything else? Grades, missing work?
Yes. Yes, after I read your comment about my final research paper, can I change the whole subject? I know it will be hard, because it's not a final draft. I won't get any comments to adjust, but I had to change it and do it all from start, as you know, by me,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it was a
What are you
guess.
gonna change it? What are you gonna change it to? Do you know?
Because no, I'm doing it today. I just came back.
Okay.
Like I was
All
in
right. As long as it's HR related,
yeah, it is.
okay, you're good. Thanks, man.
It's nearly about the talent management and the improvement.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Hello, Professor.
Yeah, Bree, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm here. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to know that do I need to visit the campus in order to give my final exam? I'm in LA campus.
No, you can do it with me if you want tonight.
Okay, and what if I don't want to do it right now? If I
Well,
want
if
to
you don't want
do
to do it right now, then you have to check. There's an email that should have went out from Isabella, and then you
Okay.
can take it. There's a proctoring. There's 3 proctor sessions. There's one, I think, Thursday, Friday, and you said Saturday.
Yeah, Thursday,
Okay.
Friday, Saturday.
So
Yeah,
then I
so
don't need to attend this meeting, or should I attend this meeting?
no, you don't have to. It's up to you. You don't have to be here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else? No? Good? Okay, so I'm gonna let you real quick and then I will get to the exam. All right, so the last topic we're gonna cover is global HR, right? Which is really kind of a foregone conclusion and something that's, as we say, OBE. Anybody know what OBE means?
What's the
OBE.
O stand for?
Overcome. OBE. Anybody ever heard that term? OBE? No? Okay. OBE means overcome by events. So basically, what I wanted to do doesn't matter, no consequences, because things have already transpired that have negated that or nullified that particular action. So, all right. So global HR, we kind of glided into it, sort of, right? As we became more globalized, the world became more connected because of the internet and things of that nature. There was a need as companies started to look for opportunities abroad for them to have a presence in some way in these other countries, right? And so if you have a presence in another country, you need the faculty or you need the faculty, you need the staff or the employees in order to make that particular company work in that country, all right? And so as you do that, you need to have all the requisite structure, right? Infrastructure. You still got to pay them. It's like any other country. There's rules. There's regulation. There's employee issues. There's all that stuff, right? And so, how do I manage those things from my host country or my headquarters, right? And I'm in another country, okay? And so, global HR has been kind of like the catalyst or the glue sort of that connects the headquarters staff with the MNE, the multinational entity or enterprise group. Okay, and so really the job of HR in a global setting is to do the same thing, right? Manage all the compensation, manage all the benefits, manage all the regulations, manage all the personnel issues that arise within the country, but do it within the rules and regulations of that country. In addition to keeping in accordance with the headquarters or parent company and their rules and regulations, which is always the hard part, right? How do I keep everything in line in my home country, but also keep everything in line in the host country? Okay, so a lot of different things. All right. All right. All right. So when it comes down to, global HR, it's really about, the culture, right? Understanding the culture, understanding how certain behaviors that may be normal in the host country, in the headquarters company, or headquarters company, how they may be normal in the States, but it's abnormal in another country, or it's normal in the country, but it's abnormal in the States, right? For instance, bribery here is illegal, right? But in other countries, it's not considered bribery; it's considered doing business. Okay, giving somebody a little extra incentive or a couple extra dollars or some gift or something to show them like, hey, I appreciate you helping me out. So here's a little extra for you. All right. Now we see that as being, having some undue influence and giving you some favor, but that's not how it's seen globally. So you got to look at the context and figure, okay, what works here and what doesn't work for us, all right? All right, like I said, multinational enterprise, all right? So basically, it's when you have a footprint in another country, no matter what that country is, aside from where you're headquartered at. So English, for us, BAE Systems, that's an English company, all right? Who else? BP, that's an English company. There's a lot, we have our own, footprint. McDonald's is a United States of American company, but we're global, or they're global. Chevron, right? Texaco, all these oil and gas companies, right? And so you'll find that most companies now are very much MNEs or MNCs, multinational corporations, and they work in a global setting, all right? And depending on how they break it up, be it geographically, being by product, being by, region, it all depends, right? Whatever works for that particular company. I know when I worked at Toyota, we had Toyota North America, we had Toyota Europe, Toyota Africa, Toyota Japan, but at the end of the day, well, not Toyota Japan, Toyota Asia. And at the end of the day, the headquarters is in Japan, right? And they got, that's what I think, they got this is where everything comes from, right? And so for them, their multinational corporation or M&E footprint is in all these different countries, right? But they get each of these entities their own individual CEOs, okay? Because Toyota North America looks different than Toyota South America, right? The CEO at Toyota North America is supposed to understand all the nuance and all the little tiny things about North America, okay? Which includes, of course, Canada and Mexico, right? You're supposed to understand it. I don't expect the Toyota North America to understand what's going on in South America, right? That's why I have that CEO. And so you have all these different entities broken up with their own leadership structure, but they all resemble the main headquarters and how that looks. It's just a copy.
So if there's a board, does the board control all the branches, or does it only control is there like an investor board for just North America, and there's an investment board for South America, and
When you say an investment board, what do you mean?
like shareholders, like the big time shareholders?
No. So Toyota, Japan, Toyota headquarters in Japan, they are the decision makers. They're the main board. Okay. And then from there, each region has their board. Toyota North America has their own board, but they strictly deal with stuff, North American stuff, right? So during a meeting or during some kind of seminar or whatever, you'll have all the different regional CEOs go to Japan to talk to the boss. Okay? To talk to the boss. And they kind of come together and say, okay, this is our plan, right? In general, this is what so the headquarters will deal in generalities. They're like, in general, we'd like to grow 10%. Okay? And then they'll say, okay, where, depending on each area, can we grow? Can you do that? And then we'll look at the specifics for North America and say, okay, North America, you can do 15% growth. South America, 20% growth. Africa probably do 5% growth. At the end of the day, the average, as long as 10% growth overall at the top, they're good, right? It doesn't matter, right? Yes, we'll try to, each market is different, and we'll try to make sure we get as many sales as we can in each market. But at the end of the day, our overall aggregate goal at the top is 10% growth, right? 15% growth, okay? And so, most companies will let the CEOs of each region kind of have a little say-so in kind of what goes into the overall plan. But in general, you kind of stay in your lane. Yeah, you stay in your lane for the most part, okay? So some of the factors to think of, right? Kind of the barriers to entry, sort of, right? And things you have to worry about when you go into any country, right? You have to worry about the politics, right? You gotta worry about the geopolitics. You gotta worry about the culture. You gotta worry about the environment, right? And so for someone who at this point was trying to, either do business with Ukraine or Russia or Israel or Palestine or anything, it's not a good time, right? Because there's so many things going on. And so trying to get into that market at this point in time, not gonna work, right? For the United States, specifically Apple, trying to get into China, doesn't work because the Chinese have their own thing, right? And they don't want Apple coming in and infringing on their economy, right? And you may say, oh, well, why don't, they let Apple in, gives people more options, that kind of thing. Well, the problem is that it turns into a kind of a mom and pop situation against big company, right? Apple will come in and demolish many of the companies, except for Huawei, which is the biggest phone developer and maker in the world, right? They're number one, right? And they happen to be Chinese, right? So China doesn't want any parts of Apple coming in and giving them competition, especially because they're an American company, right? And the same thing with us. We are very wary of having companies that are owned by China to come here, right? TikTok, right? Okay, for fear of, security breaches and espionage and all this other stuff that's way above, our everyday thinking, right? You and I will probably think about espionage and all that stuff, on spy stuff on a regular basis, but these are the things that people think about when they think about, hey, I want to come into your country and do business, all right? You got to get through all that stuff and understand all that stuff in order to really be effective, right? And one of the main reasons that, that us as the United States or other countries go to other places because it's cheaper to do business. Okay, that's why everybody goes to China. China manufactures everything at a lower cost, right? But there are trade-offs for that. They also probably manufacture things at a lower quality. Okay, so you got to understand that you're not getting a quality product every time. Sometimes it's subpar, but you're getting it on the low, and it works, right? Other times it doesn't, so you have to go elsewhere, right? But for the most part, the United States specifically, we go to Malaysia, we go to Taiwan, we go to Cambodia, we go to Vietnam, we go to all these little tiny places, Thailand, and we build these plants and all this infrastructure because it's just cheaper, right? The cost is less, and it's not necessarily that you get the savings as the consumer, right? It just increases the profit for the company at the end of the day. Okay, so we're not really getting an advantage on the consumer side because that's not what the company's worried about. I mean, wants us to consume, but also they will pass on any price increase, tax increase, cost increase. They will pass that on to us, no problem, right? And you see it all the time. All right, so we have NAFTA, okay? And NAFTA is the North American Free Trade Agreement, the agreement between China, Mexico, Canada, and the US, and hey, we will trade amongst each other, free of tariffs, free of any fees, really. Only thing that we ask is that we get a fair, fair deal, and we'll be good to go, all right? So NAFTA is gone, right? NAFTA was established in 1994 by President Clinton, right? And then President Trump came, thought it was a raw deal, said, hey, you know what, doesn't seem like it's fair, we're always getting the short end of the stick, sort of, and he pulled out a NAFTA, okay? And so they went back to the table, put something together called the USMC, okay? United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. United States Marine Corps, they don't want any of that, all right? The USMC, United States, Mexico, Canada, agreement, right? Same thing, right? Still an agreement between the three countries, just that certain things were worked out to where certain products were kind of, the prices on those things were stabilized, sort of, right? Because we get a lot of our milk from Canada, right? We get a lot of our fruits and stuff like that from Mexico, right? The United States offers more of, financial access and the ability to move monies and some things, but as far as the goods, those countries provide a lot of things, but depending on how they feel and how the harvest went, that kind of thing, they'll jack the prices up. We had a problem in Canada where they were gouging, milk prices. So they weren't really gouging milk prices, what they were doing. They were lowballing low prices. So basically, everybody was buying their milk from Canada and kind of pushing out the American milk guys because they couldn't keep up with the price. all right? If you got a small business and you're making a certain amount of milk and it costs you this much to produce it, but somebody in Canada's selling it 10 cents cheaper, right? Because they're dealing with volume, right? They have the infrastructure, is what they do, right? And so it really goes along with the culture and the mentality of each country, right? Our country, again, is very capitalistic. Everything is about money. You know, yes, life is important and you know, lifestyle, but you only have your lifestyle as far as you have money, right? Your money really dictates the kind of lifestyle you have. Whereas in other countries, material and tangible goods are not necessarily the most important thing. For them, it's about, you know, living their lives and having experiences and family and that kind of thing. Not to say that's not for us, it's not the thing, but we're definitely more capitalistic than most countries, right? Our drive is different. Most people, they want to make money so they can buy food, buy a house, and just kind of chill. We want to go buy Lamborghinis and stuff like that, okay? Buy fancy stuff. All right, so it's a little different. All right, so USMC, okay? Now the EU, okay, we're all familiar with the EU, all right, got together, and then the EU got kind of not blowing up, but it lost a little bit of its oomph because Britain pulled out, okay? Because the problem with the EU, well, not the problem, the EU basically is you know, you gotta be loyal to the EU, and that's that. There's no sovereignty for each country, all right? It's kind of like having parents. Before I do something, I have to ask you. And Britain was not cool with that, okay? You got a country that's been independent forever and a day, kind of the original country, sort of, you know, where kind of everything stemmed from. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. We've been in charge of the globe before for a long, long time. We have a dominating presence. We're not trying to go ask for permission to do anything. And so they pulled out. But with that, they had to go back and reestablish all these trade agreements with each individual country, right? Which these countries are part of the EU now. So guess what? Yes, they can come in and talk to each individual country, but they would still have to go to the EU to make the deals happen, right? Because those countries have to go to the EU because that's what they agree with. That's where we got the euro from, right? And that kind of thing. And the euro is a pretty strong currency, normally the strongest currency out there, followed by the pound, followed by the yen, and then the dollar, right? But the dollar is the reserve currency, okay? Which means that you can go anywhere with the dollar and use it without having to exchange it for the most part, right? It's gotten less and less that way, right? And now as time goes on, it's even more or less that way because most countries want their own currency to be the dominating currency in their country, right? I should not go to Mexico and the dollar is more powerful than the peso in the economy, right? The peso needs to be just as powerful. And if you want to come in and you want to do business, you need to come in and spend pesos, right? Not dollars, right? Because then I have to go and exchange the dollars, which costs me money, right? And so that's the part about it. All right, so EU, pretty good, you know, so far, not too bad. Has strengthened and united a lot of European countries that were bickering and kind of having issues with the trade and amongst each other, but it solved a lot of problems.
So it's a bad HOA.
Yeah, basically, it's a big HOA. Yeah, that's all it is. All right, then we got the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Trade and Investment Partnership and Trans-Pacific Partnership. This was something that President Obama, or happened during President Obama's tenure, right? So basically, he saw the need to try to bring all these Asian Pacific countries together as far as a partnership so that they could trade among each other and not have any issues, and also that they could come to the United States as a body, as an entity, by coming in as individuals, okay? And so we saw it as a strategic thing, right? Because the Pacific Islands and Pacific, that area plays a huge role in our strategic positioning, right? In being able to reach out and touch people, right? Being able to reach out and touch Russia, being able to reach out and touch China, being able to reach out and touch, you know, whatever country it is that we need to touch, okay? What I mean by touch, I mean like rockets and stuff like that. Okay, that's really what it's about, right? Strategic, military strategic things, right? Won't necessarily be evident or intuitive that that's what this is about. But at the end of the day, that's really about that, right? Hey, you come together as a TTP, we got your back. You know, you go, somebody comes in messing with you, we'll come beat them up, okay? We're big brother, call us anytime, we're all right. And so long as you are letting us set up shop in your country, right? We need a base here, we need a base here, we need a station there, we need some land here. We're not gonna tell you what we're doing with it, but we appreciate it, okay? So, and also trading goods and services back and forth, right? Have agreements, hey, you know, you can send $50 doctors here a year, cool, you know, we'll take them, we'll fit them someplace, and we'll figure it out, right? All right, let's see here. Demographics, yeah, the world's getting a little older, okay? The thing is that it's not that the world's getting older, it's that we're living longer. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's living a lot longer than, you know, they used to. And so the age of 65 doesn't seem so old anymore, right? 50 is not, you know, like I said, I'm 51, it doesn't seem old, right? But back in the day, it was old, you know, especially if you had somebody's life expectancy was 70, you know, 65, 69, then yeah, you're 50-something, you're old, right? But it's gotten longer and longer as time has gone on, because in the, you know, early, you know, 200-300s, even into the, you know, 14 to 1500s, 1600s, life expectancy was about 39, 40, right? This is why you had the whole, hey, you know, you're 15, you're a widow, you're a spinster, you need to go find you a man, right? Because at 30, 35, you could be dead, right? Basically, because that's how long.
Appendicitis.
Right, appendicitis, tuberculosis, the plague, just not, you know, not enough food, war, right? Medical innovations weren't really that prevalent, you know, so people were dying a lot faster and younger because of the things that were going on around the world, okay, or in that environment. The other thing you have is the migrants, right? And so this kind of lends itself into the globalization aspect where you have people coming from other countries that aren't as developed, trying to come into developed countries because they want a better life, right? But it's changed so much because of the way that countries do things, right? And when I say what I mean by that is that if you have people come into your country, right, and you know they don't have anything, you kind of want to take care of them, right? You want to make sure that they get the things that they need, right? But where you get that from someone that's not contributing into the system, right? So basically, for every one of us that's paying taxes here, we are supporting somebody, a migrant or an immigrant or somebody that's coming into the country, right? And so that's starting to take a drain on the resources. And so now we have a, you know, we have a huge migrant issue, huge immigration issue, right? I mean, that's all you hear about now, immigration, because no one wants to let anyone else into their country. Okay, even with Israel and Palestine, the Egyptians are like, no, you're not coming here. No, don't want them. Can't do it, right? So where do they go? Nowhere. Just stuck there, right? You're just stuck. Okay? And so that creates humanitarian crisis. That creates a lot of generational issues down the line. Okay? And so because Egypt has its own issues with overcrowding, lack of resources, right? United States, you go to New York, here in San Diego, right? We don't have enough housing for regular folks, right? Much less housing for our homeless folks, and then on top of that, migrants, right? But this is what you get when you start to get globalized, okay? When globalization is kicking in, right? Because you can't neglect the folks, because guess what? You do business with Honduras, you do business with Mexico, you do business with Israel, you do business with all these countries. You just can't say, oh, you know, we'll take your stuff, but we don't want your people. We don't want, no, right? Especially if you are willing to send your folks over there, right? Americans, we go anywhere. Okay, and you gotta let me in. That's not the case here, right? America is very, very tight on letting people in. But other countries are tighter, right? Switzerland, they don't pay all that stuff, okay? And Netherlands, right? Even in Europe, it's difficult. Like the UK, France, Italy's a little different because Italy's trying to get the economy back on board. But a lot of countries are really really tight on their immigration because they just see it as a draw on their resources, right? And so a lot of times, if you go to another country, what they'll ask you to do if you want to become a citizen or have dual citizenship, they'll say, look, you can come, but you need to have a passive stream of income. Okay, that way we know, one, you have money and you're not gonna come suck us dry, right? Two, you're not going to, again, infringe on the economy, meaning I don't have to get you a job that could go to a local, right? So a national, right? Why am I gonna give a job to a foreigner when I can give it to the national, right? And so that alleviates kind of that problem. So there's a lot of things going on with that. All right, of course, reasons for global expansion. Look, lots of reasons. The main one is, hey, we want more market share. We want to tap into every market there is and make more money. That's it. That at the end of the day, that's it. I want to have as much influence as I possibly can because more influence means more market share means more money at the end of the day, right? Does it mean more headaches? Absolutely. I gotta deal with different rules, laws, and regulations, but especially if you come from the United States or England or any developed country, getting into another market is relatively not easy, but is desired, right? Most countries are happy to let any corporation from the US or UK or any developed country into their home because they realize that it's going to create opportunity and jobs for their nationals. It's going to bring a certain amount of money into the country that they didn't have before. Yes, they have to deal with certain things, absolutely, but they still have ultimate control at the end of the day to kind of dictate what happens in that country, right? So, for instance, who is it, the UK? I think the UK just fined Mark Zuckerberg $63 million, right? Facebook. So he has to pay $63 million, right? I forgot another company, they had to pay some other country $61 million in taxes that they didn't pay, right? So you gotta have your accounting, you gotta have your stuff wired pretty tight if you're trying to go another country, right? Because they're not just gonna let you in for free. It doesn't work that way, right? They have to be getting something, right? It's a quid pro quo, right? This for that. Yeah, I'll give you this, but you're gonna give me that, all right? You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And that's how kind of the world works, right? At the end of the day. You have, the ability to gain access to different resources that you wouldn't have access to. Okay, so when I say that, what I mean is that you can get into, a cheaper way to get diamonds, or cheaper way to get gold, cheaper way to get copper, right? Maybe even a cheaper way to get, other resources, except for like oil, right? Because the Saudis and anybody that owns oil will not let America one step into that little circle of theirs because they know the United States and they're gonna take over. Okay? They're bound to take over. Yeah, they're bound to take over. Okay, so you see that there's been a tight rein on the oil industry. The Saudis don't let anybody. If you're not Saudi, you're not part of the Saudi royal family or something to that effect, you ain't get nowhere near the oil. Okay, but OPEC, right? And to be a member of OPEC, you gotta be Saudi or you gotta be some kind of Middle Eastern and to get on the board. I'm sure they have some associations or some associates on the board that are American, but they really don't have any real power, I'm sure. Okay. So you have entities like that, but when you diversify in other countries, you get access to different things, you get access to different people, you get access to cheaper labor, you get access to different resources, and just a different mindset in general, right? Which help you know your costs and those things, right? You also get an opportunity to kind of test stuff out, right? See what works. If this works in this market, it might work in that market, right? What works here doesn't necessarily work in Europe or in Canada even. If you go to Europe, what's one of the things you notice is different from Europe? Well, first thing is, who's been to Europe? I gotta ask. You been to Europe? No?
I've been to.
Okay. So one of the things that, I've always noticed when I first time in New York is the size of the cars. They're small. Okay? They're tiny. They don't deal with big cars, right? For the most part. 75% of people have little, what I call roller skates. Yeah, they don't have no trucks, right? Now you'll see once in a while you see a truck running around, it's important.
Yeah, for commercial use or.
Right, for commercial use. I saw one for that was private. It was a Ford F-150, and I understood. Okay, why okay, cool.
Probably got the whole road as he's going down.
The whole road.
Yeah,
very
a lot
noticeable.
of stick shift.
Yeah, a lot of stick shift, manual drive, right? It's
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah.
Because why is more stick shift than it is automatic?
Probably more economic.
More economic, right?
So,
Diesel used to be cheaper, all right? And so you could use with a stick shift, you could use diesel, right? Or you could diesel engine. But it was cheaper, and it was cheaper to build, right?
Yeah, cheaper to maintain.
Yeah, cheaper to maintain and fix, right? So you have that in Europe, but United States, again, we deviated from that, we came with something different, and we like big things, right? But it gives you a chance to experiment and see what works in certain countries, what doesn't work, and if you can scale that up and really get that out on a global level, right? And so it's important to understand, like, every industry kind of has different places in where they certify things, okay? When it comes to fashion, most fashion is certified in Europe, right? Or Japan, right? If those all the fashion things that we do, they usually emanate or originate from those countries, right? United States, we need, sometimes we're on top of the technology, but we're still behind Japan for the most part, right? In technology, and China to some degree, but China steals everything. So ain't no telling where they got that from, right? But gold. Turkey is kind of like the leader in gold, right? Africa, looking for gold diamonds, right? So there's certain countries that certify or originate all the kind of trends or the particular things that people like in those particular industries for consumption, right? What time is it? 17. Right. Was that? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. Make sure, well, if you want to, look at chapters 15, 16, continue on. I want to get you guys started on the final exam and get you out here, okay? So, if you're ready, everybody ready to take the exam? Okay. Everybody online, you guys ready for the exam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the password and then you guys can go from there. All right, so whatever time is on the exam, that's what you got. All right, so please keep that in mind. I'm not gonna change it. I can't change it. It's a real hassle. So whatever time you have, okay? Okay, it's all caps.
Oh, sorry, I can't
I'm gonna
see.
give it to you right now. I'm gonna send it to you in the chat, okay?
Okay.
And please do not give this password to anyone else. Okay?
Yeah.
So you find out that you gave it to somebody else, they're gonna give you an F on the test and they're gonna give that person an F2.
What does that mean to anyone else?
No, to anyone, like, don't give the password, because if you have the password, you can take the exam without proctoring.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. All right, good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have to keep the microphone on?
No microphone. You don't need. No, you don't need no. And just a reminder, you can use your notes, you can use the PowerPoint in your book, you just can't use the internet. Okay? Can I use Google? Can't go to the internet. You can use your notes, your book, PowerPoint, whatever else. Okay?
Hi, Patrick. Hello.
Yes?
Am I audible? I just want to know that can we leave the class?
What's in dinner?
Can we leave this class now?
Are you taking the final?
No, no. I just want to know that can we leave class?
After the final?
No, I will give the finals on Isabella date.
Okay, no, so you can leave, yes. Mhm.
And can you please let us know briefly about the finals, like how to prepare?
It's essay and short answer, your choice. So just have
Okay.
to review your PowerPoint, Make sure you read the chapters. And that should be it. You should be good to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And uh, now I need to stay on class, or can I leave this class?
Yes, you can leave, Sadhana. You can leave.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much for your guidance.
You're welcome. All right.
Doctor, do we have to put the references and the citation?
No.
Okay, then I believe I finished.
Okay. Good to go.
Thank you so much for this semester.
No worry. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
I finished my exam.
Okay, thank you, Siham.
Thank you
You
so
look like
much.
you're so happy to be done.
And I like in the last minutes. I hope it is doing good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good
And
job.
thank you for everything.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.